How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, and welcome to the Empire. At least just the new chess piece. But I'd like to show you, look at how much physical armor we have with our sword and board out right now. 2,100 physical armor. We are a tanky boy. What's going on, Chili? So we've got 11.5% physical damage resistance on top of 2,100 physical armor. Um, 562, 561. This is still our faction PvP gear. 562 with fortifying shield rush in luck. So when we use our shield rush and it hits someone, we get 18% damage reduction for 4 seconds, which is extended a little bit. So it's more than 4 seconds, but not by much. And then we've got 553. So we're now only wearing one piece of faction gear. And everything else is stuff that we found. We've got, oh, by the way, we've got critical here, critical here. So we're at plus our weapon mastery. So we're at over 33% chance to crit. All right, so we'll go over from Reekwater Elite. Yep, just keep farming elites. All right, so we'll go over the Paladin build real quick. I do always carry a sword with me, as well as a battle axe. The reason I always have the shield equipped because I'm in a full heavy, it doesn't affect my weight. We're always in full heavy. This is my version of the Paladin build. A common Paladin build you're going to see is going to be extremely high constitution and focus, with not a focus and strength. This is not a regular Paladin build. This is the Omni Paladin build, where our focus is more into strength than it is into constitution. Even more so that I'd be willing to remove these 60 counts or 60 points in constitution and put it in strength. For the sake of survivability in wars, I've opted for an extra 2k HP. But in PvE, I would respec and go 200 strength, 150 con, and at least a minimum of 50 constitution. Though I do like a little bit more health. Sure, it's not too bad. But the main points are going to be, actually, yeah, this is really good for sword and board. But 150, 150, and 50. That's something that you can pick up just at level 60 with your faction gear. So your standard is going to be picking up your strength con faction gear at level 60. I have all of this on me. And then putting in a gem. Now, the gem can be either physical ward, or it can be the wilderness ward, which gives a little bit of element. There are a lot of mages out there. And then my standard is going to be the battle axe, and the LifeStaff. If you get good at the weapon swap, dodge into weapon swap, you're going to notice that I have a healing buff. That increases my healing by 20%. So in between attacking, if I dodge and weapon swap, I already have my 20% healing buff. Okay? I then put this. If you notice, I now have damage reduction for the next 30 seconds, or 20 plus seconds. And I have 3 hots. This allows me to then go back and be hyper aggressive, and then switch, and that's the main thing right here. Obviously, fighting in your circle will be good. You get Fortify while this is up, and there is an ability for Fortified Sacred Ground, which I am on the hunt for, which will give me Fortify, again, more damage reduction while in my Sacred Ground. So we'll have multiple forms of damage reduction while being hyper aggressive. And let's go over the weapon skills. So the core weapon skills are going to be Charge, Reap, and Gravity Well. This allows, this is your escape and your catch up. Okay? You can get these, it's not bad, to get an additional 45% damage on this attack, especially if it's a back attack. It's not negligible. What I opt for is more passives. If you choose to get this, you're not wrong. I've considered it. But instead, I go for light attacks, give me more damage. When I make a critical, I heal myself. After your attack is blocked, gain 15% damage for 10 seconds. Very commonly, when someone's about to die, you need to do a heavy attack to break their block. What that does is increase your damage. I just woke up. That's probably what it is. Critical damage. Always good. Lots of damage. Great attacks against foes that are lower, crit more. Always good. So if you're attacking someone that's low health, you're doing more damage. Your crits do more damage, and then again you have a chance to heal. Reap, when you get here, hits twice and heals for a portion of it. And then this is Bloodlust. As long as you're targeting something, you're moving faster and dealing 15% more damage. So more damage. So we have lots and lots of damage. This is currently bugged. Don't get it. Thank me later, though I do like it. Great Axe pulls them closer. When you do a heavy and it swings at people, you notice it pulls them in just a little bit, which is nice. This is a must. Getting that grit on your heavies, even a small heavy right there. You see that? That makes it uninterruptible. And then you can do the full swing, but just learning the light heavy is also extremely important. And then my favorite ability, the Gravity Well. You do more damage for each person, and you gain Fortify. It's not a long time, right, while Fortify's up, but any time that you can reduce damage while holding a Great Axe, 10% damage absorption when there's a lot of people within 4 meters. More applicable in PvE. Rarely will you be that around that many people in PvP, but when you're sitting on the point in war, it's fairly common to have a lot of people around you. So you do more damage. You take less damage. I have not killed the Well Guardian. I need to. It's my next quest. And then the LifeStaff. LifeStaff, bread and butter is going to be Sacred Ground, Orb of Protection, and Beacon. There is a version in which we go Light's Embrace instead, and I like it actually a lot. Because it increases your buff duration, which is very, very cool. But this gives Fortify, damage reduction. The less damage you're taking, the more you can be hyper aggressive, and that's the whole goal. But you don't need these points. You can get them. When it hits an enemy, it affects everyone in the radius. It is very useful. But instead, hitting just the ground on purpose and not targeting anyone gives you the buff, gives everyone in the area the buff. But if you do hit an enemy, then you don't get the buff, right? So it's just a different type of playstyle. But not taking these affords you an additional 2 passives, and that's where it becomes stronger. This is the dodge that increases healing. If you have a buff, You heal for more, so again, more healing. Buffs last longer. LifeStaff, light and heavy, grant 15% fortify when hitting an enemy. Not super necessary, but again, it's fortify, and I really like anything that gives you fortify. I did go with this. You put down one of your AoE heals. If they heal, if any of your AoE heals heal over times, heal someone below 50%, you get 10% cooldown reduction. Light attacks give you 5% cooldown reduction. So we opted for cooldown reduction. It's rare to remove debuffs, but it's still very, very good. And then light attacks also heal for a little bit. And so that's basically, you do have the sword and board. My sword and board will be different than a lot of people's sword and board out there. That's because I love Leaping Strike. And again, this is an aggressive Paladin build. This is not sit there and survive forever, because guess what? We're still going to sit there and survive forever. But we have kill potential, and that's what's important. Fortify's cap is 50%. Again, with our current armor set, Fortify Shield Rush gives us 18%. So the bread and butter here is going to be Shield Bash. And this right here, we put on a slow. We've got a 2-second stun. When you look at, well, that's why you want this, right? Because that's during those times you do 10% more damage. So there's a lot of ways to stack damage. But deal 10% more damage to slowed targets. So when you hit them with this, they're slowed. When you hit them in the back, they're slowed for 8 seconds. There's a perk you can get on armor or weapons that when this is active, you do an additional 15 to 20% more damage. So there's ways to continue to stack a lot of damage. When you do a heavy, even a light heavy, increase your damage by 30%. When you block a few times, you increase your damage by 15%. And then you hit them in the back for 15. And because they're slowed, you do an additional 10. And if you have 200 strength, an additional 10. So we're talking 30, 45, 65, 85% more damage. Plus another 10% damage just for being this. So 95% more damage. And your third attack increases it by an additional 15. So you're over 100% more damage. Close to 120% more damage. For small stints, sure, absolutely. But that means juicy, juicy, juicy backstabs. And you do the damage, right? A lot of times Paladin builds, you're able to survive, but you cannot kill. And so we swap from, I like to stick to battle axe, but sometimes just removing, I actually like sword and board and battle axe just by themselves, pure strength, still very beautiful. But the survivability of this is you can basically kill every PvE. You solo everything, all the names, everything you need. And that's the Paladin build.